morning, good afternoon, and good evening, beautiful people of the world. It's me, Lainey, and I hope you're having a phantasmical day. Today we're gonna have an anime rant. That's right, it's me. I like anime. Surprise anyone? No? Okay, let's continue. Also, I do have a slight stutter, so if I say the word anime wrong, like instead of saying anime, I say amine, ignore it. Okay, cool. Now that we got out of the way, let's start the rant. I have not scripted this. I don't know what's gonna happen. And sometimes I might say things that are not entirely right, and I just said that I would start it, and then here I am, not starting it. Okay, let's talk about Isekai. What is Isekai? That is an excellent question. Thank you for asking. Isekai basically just means like of another world, or like from another world to another world. Well, like Sekai is world, and then it's irrelevant. General plots of an isekai is someone, for some reason, starts off in one place and then gets transported to another entirely different plane of existence. The most non-anime example I can think of right off the bat, Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, I don't know, stuff like that, stuff like that. They're very common stories and you know about them. Good references, good examples. Hey, good job, Lainey. You gotta give yourself pats on the back sometime. But I think the most common anime example, or at least one of the most popular ones, is Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online. Some other popular ones, thinking off the top of my head is hard. ReZero is one. I haven't watched much of it. I watched a little bit of it, and I wasn't a big fan, but it's fine. So there's ReZero, there's, I can't even think, How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Overlord? Is that what it's called? I watched the first season, loved it, can't remember what it's called. I'm a failure as an anime fan. No, I'm just really bad on the spot. I really should have planned out my thoughts beforehand, but that would defeat the purpose of a rant. Anyway, isekais. You start off with a character. For some reason, either like their life sucks, they die, they wish to be transported somewhere else, they get taken somewhere else, either because that does make sense. They die, they get transported to a new world. They wish to go somewhere else, they get taken to a new world. They're playing a video game, they're now trapped inside the video game, either as like a life or death situation where they're still technically in the real world, like Sword Art Online, or like the video game world is now just reality, which is, also a common occurrence. So, there's lots of small little things you could do to the general story to make it slightly different. Like sometimes the characters don't have a purpose, sometimes they do have a purpose, sometimes they need to complete a special story, sometimes it's, I've seen this one a few times where like the person just needs to exist in the other world so that there can be a link between Earth and this world for magic reasons. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of this entirely fictitious scenario, but, is what is. And, you can do so many fun things with that very idea. Like, that is such a, that, you could literally make any world, and because, like, the main character isn't from that world originally, it's really good, like, for the exposition of, like, learning how the world works. You learn with the main character. It's a very good, solid structure, and I fail to understand why so many of them are exactly the same. And I don't like most of them. Like, look, okay, I'm someone who identifies as a woman. Typically, I like things that are aimed at women, just happenstance, not like seeking it out. Like, for example, rom-coms are my favorite genre. Shoujo is my favorite demographic to watch. They just happen to fit in that demographic. And isekais are usually not made for that demographic. Obviously, they don't all have to be shoujo. Like, Dr. Stone, I guess, is kind of an isekai. It's kind of weird because technically it's still on this world, except, everyone's been turned to stone, and it's been like 3,000 years, and they gotta figure all that out. So, technically still our world, but still technically different enough that I think it can be called an isekai. I don't know. The specifics baffle me, but, that doesn't mean, like, they make a lot of fun isekais, like, for women or young girls. A lot of them just kind of feel like they're made for men or for guys, and they're all very samey. And, like, harem animes, yeah, sure, whatever. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're not. Not every harem can be like Oran High School Host Club, To be fair, that is one where the main character is a female, so that's probably not the best example. I don't know. I can't think of an harem. I'm gonna go with my example from earlier, ReZero. Alright? ReZero, conceptually, I'm a big fan. In practice, it's fine. Like, I was recommended to watch ReZero when it, like, first came out, and there were only, like, 10 episodes on Crunchyroll or something, and somebody's like, oh my god, you have to watch it, it's amazing. And I watched, like, the first couple of episodes, and I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. And then, like, it just gets progressively more insane. Because, to explain my point, and if you haven't seen ReZero, I'll need to explain a little bit about the plot of ReZero to the best of my memory, because I haven't watched it in a long time, and I only know roughly about things that happen in the later episodes. But basically, main guy, whose name I don't remember, irrelevant, main guy, transported to this world, typical isekai things. The world is pretty shit, people in it kind of suck, and every time he dies, he has to, like, go back to, like, the same respawn point, and he just dies, and he's got to just basically try not to die. And the entire time he is, like, there's, like, the 4 main girls, because, harem, so there's, like, the 4 main girls, and, like, he spends all this time with these girls, and then, he'll die, but he still remembers, but they don't remember, and then, like, he kind of turns into an asshole, partly because of trauma, partly because of, but, like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I just empathize with the women a lot, so, it's very hard for me to actually enjoy it. Like, if I could, sit there and be like, if I was the woman in this situation, and this guy who, like, I barely know is going and saying, like, all this stuff, which is, like, classic manipulation. Maybe I'm too Gen Z. Maybe I've just been watching too many of my mum's crime videos. She's been watching a series about people who have been in serious abusive relationships lately. So, and she watched a similar one back then too. And usually whatever she's watching too, I'm just like, ay. But I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. And it's just like, I try to empathize with the main character. It's just, it's hard. It's hard. It was probably not the best example, but, it is different enough from most other isekais that, like, I'm not that mad at it, to be honest. Most of them are just, like, generic, look at me, I've been transported to this new world, and I'm gonna be the most OP, and I'm gonna get all the bitches, and it's gonna be, like, fun, and it's gonna be, like, regular harem shenanigans, and it's like, alright, cool. And then, like, they just keep making it, and making it, and then there's more of them, and they're not different, and it's like, why are we keep making this? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, like I said earlier, it's such a strange genre. And, like, there aren't enough things like, well, not exactly like Dr. Stone, or A Sentence of a Bookworm, or the one with, like, the slime witch. She's, like, 300 years old, and she just kills a couple of slimes every day, and then she becomes the most powerful entity in the world, you know? But she's just kind of, like, real chill, and she doesn't want anyone to bother her ever or fight. I don't remember what that one's called, but I like that one. There aren't enough like that one. They're just like, you know, like sometimes I just want to watch a regular ass person being transported to this new exciting world, and them just doing regular ass person shit, you know? Like, I want to you know, this is why I read more manga than watch anime these days. Not because I don't like anime. Yeah, no, I said that right. Not because I don't like anime, it's just, there's a lot more shoujo manga than there is shoujo anime. That's just a fact. And a lot of the shoujo anime I've seen is either, like, I don't know, it's very hard to find some that's, like, good production quality and interesting and not, like, super cringy. Like, you know, I love the stuff that's super cringy, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot harder to find things that I will like. And Isekai is such a great genre. And then we're sometime around, like, the end of 2019, where, like, that one anime, like, about being a villainess happened. Like, she got reincarnated as a villainess, and she's, like, the dumbest person, and she doesn't realize that she solved all of her problems, and she's just constantly waiting for all of the characters who the entire time, like, she's basically created her own harem, and she doesn't realize, because she's just waiting for the moment for them to all, like, turn on her, and she's just gonna, like, get banished, and it's like, that's not gonna happen anymore, but she's too dumb to realize that. She's too blind. Yeah, that one. I love that. I love that so much. That was the first anime I had seen in almost an entire year, and I'm like, I want more. I want more of this garbage. It's good garbage, don't worry. I'm not calling it garbage. I love things I call garbage. Don't worry about it. But I was just like, I need more of this garbage in my life. And so that's when I really started getting back into reading manga. Like, I still got kind of been reading it, you know. There are a couple of series that I've been enjoying. And then the villainess stuff popped in, and if you go through, like, all of the manga I'm, like, currently reading online, I think I'm reading about 100 different series at any given point, and currently 90 of them, I wish I was exaggerating, have the villainess theme. And, like, you know, just like all other romantic comedies and dramas, they're all just different enough from each other to keep me interested, but they're also pretty similar that I don't have to think too hard about it. And the characters are really likable and cute, and I get into it. That's probably why people love harem animes, because, you know, it's just a bunch of cute girls doing cute things, and then there's, like, a guy who's either, like, really creepy and sexual, or, like, completely oblivious, who's just surrounded by all these pretty women for reasons. You know, what everyone wants. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's not my dream. I just like watching two random people going through a turbulent but interesting love story. That's all I want. You know, that's all I want. That's all I need. That's all I get. Well, I mean, it's very amusing, and I'm having a lot of fun. So the difference, I don't want to say villainous manga is different from all like the other all the other isekai sort of things, because like it's still the same. Like, you know, it's a person, they're just a regular person, and then for one reason or another they wake up and oh no, they're the evil character in a book they read or a game they played. That's the difference. It's always based off of like a piece of fiction within the world, and it's always got some ridiculous book title, and it's like, is that a real book? I don't know. It's not. And it's like, it could be. The title is that ridiculous of whatever the in-character series is. And whatever the character series is, there's always just like the villainess. She's not meant to find love. Usually she dies, usually she gets banished, and there's always high stakes. Well, not always. There's usually pretty high stakes for the main character. They start off in a body that's not theirs. Usually it's the body of someone who is hated by all of the other existing characters in the world, or, you know, will be hated. And for a lot of them, there's the threat of death, banishment, or just an incredibly unfortunate future ahead of them, and they have to avoid it. And it's always fun seeing how they would avoid those situations. And there's all sorts of different situations. Like I said, some are more extreme than others, you know? Like, there's one series that I'm reading where if the main character isn't evil enough, it's like a Groundhog Day situation where, like, the world just keeps, like, repeating the day over and over and over again until she's what the world has deemed evil enough. There's other ones that go into, like, other already existing ones. Like, there's one about Cinderella, and it's somebody is born as the evil stepmother, you know. If you read any of these villainess ones, you probably know the exact ones I'm talking about. And if not, honestly, just go onto a manga site and look up villainess, and that's all you need. That's all you need to do. That's all you need. But you know, they're all just slightly interesting. I don't know. It made me love isekais again. 'Cause, like, you know, I didn't hate Sword Art Online. I really loved the first half of the first season. Like, I was a huge fan of the first half of the first season. The second half was kind of like, if you know what I mean. And then, like, the second season, I was like, it's not bad, but, like, it's not, like, that interesting. But I didn't hate watching it, but, like, I wouldn't watch it again. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Anyway. This video is going on for so long and nothing interesting is happening, and I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being here for this. But I'm gonna keep talking, 'cause, like, why not? So, anyway, isekais, I don't know. It's a very turbulent relationship. I liked them, and then I didn't like them, and now I love them again. I just want to talk more about the villainous genre. Some of my favorite ones is when the character themselves, it's really hard to call it an isekai at this point. Because there's some that I've read where it's not really an isekai, but then what genre are you supposed to be? Let me set the scene, the scenario of what I'm talking about. So there's a character who's evil by whatever means. She makes the lives of other people difficult. Everyone hates her for whatever reason. And just bad things keep happening to her. And then at the very beginning of the story, she dies as that character, and then gets, like, woken up, and it is the past. And she's got to try to figure out what happened to her if she doesn't know, or change what happens. And the character either becomes good, or they become sneaky evil. that doesn't really feel so much as isekai to me, because, like, you know, they're just being reborn through events that already existed to them. One that I am severely not up to date with, that I'm a big fan of, is one called Dr. Elise, and it's about this girl. Her name's Elise, and she was a villainess, and she was awful and mean and did bad things, all because she wanted the prince to fall in love with her, and he just was not into her at all. So she ends up being killed by said prince that she's so in love with, and, you know, regular medieval, I think it was a hanging, could have been a beheading, I don't know, she dies. She gets reincarnated it's a Korean manhwa, so in, like, modern day Korea, and she becomes a surgeon, like a brain surgeon, like she's a surgeon, to, like, atone for all of the things that she did in her past. Her, like, Korean self was just kinda, I don't know, she was an orphan, she was a workaholic, she didn't have time for things. She was like 25 when she died the first time. I think she was somewhere between 25 and 30 when she died the second time. She was on a plane, and then the plane crashed, and she got memories of her previous life as she was dying, and then she wakes up as her previous life as Elise, back when Elise was a teenager. So now, with all of her new knowledge, she's like, I'm not gonna marry the prince, I'm not gonna fall in love with the prince, I'm gonna become a doctor. And, you know, it's a really interesting story. I can't claim any of the medical facts in it are entirely true, but they seem pretty legit. And I love that series. I really need to read more of it. This is just turning into, like, manga recommendations. No, look, okay. If you like rom-coms, if you like romantic dramas, if you like, you know, anything where, like, people are wearing, like, historical fashion, you know, I can't claim any of its authenticity, but it's pretty to look at. Most villainous series are manhwa, so they're the ones that are like a big, like, continuous scrolling for a chapter instead of, like, pages you flip through. They're all a lot of them are, like, fully colored, and they're beautiful to look at, and I'm an artist and I like looking at pretty things. You know, you don't have to be an artist to appreciate pretty things, but I think it helps. So, you know, if you're interested in that, start looking up some villainous themed manga. Go watch other people on the YouTubes who talk about those sorts of things, and I think it's a good thing to do, to watch, to listen, and to enjoy. You know, I didn't think that there would ever be a time where I would enjoy isekai again, because I was so over isekai, as was so many other people. Like, this is not a uniquely me problem, but I don't know, I'm a fan. I like isekai now. I do think it is oversaturating the market, but I don't know, what else are you gonna do? If you want to read something that's a bit wacky, I recommend the Shiori Experience. If you know what the Shiori Experience is, good. If you don't, it's a time. I haven't read it yet. I've only read the description of it, and I'm like, I don't know what, but I have to read it eventually, and it's on my list, and I will get to it. The premise of the Shiori Experience is absolutely bonkers. You know what, I'm gonna get out my phone right now, and I'm going to read you the, synopsis? Synopsis, is that the right word? It might be the right word. Well, I don't know. Shiori was once a guitarist in a light music club in high school, But her first live performance was dashed when her brother ran away from home with a lot of debt to become a musician in Tokyo. A decade later, Shiori is now a high school teacher, leading a boring, uneventful life and paying off the debt. Till she runs into the ghost of none other than famous guitarist Jimi Hendrix. The story of a 27-year-old woman on her way to becoming a music legend begins here. So, let's unpack that. This is supposed to be an isekai, but now I'm going into this nonsense. Shiori, 27-year-old high school teacher living a boring, uneventful life, runs into the ghost of Jimi Hendrix. Let that sit. Okay. And the ghost of Jimi Hendrix, like, guides her, possesses her? I don't know. She does music now. Becoming a rock star. Becoming a music legend. My brain hurts. Honestly. You know what? That hurt my brain just enough. If you wanna read a good isekai, or watch a good isekai anime, I suggest watching Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's very cute. It's very cute. I enjoy it a lot. It's about this girl who really likes to read. In her previous life, she was a librarian. She read books all the time. She got crushed by books, and she wakes up in the body of a sickly child, where books are not an option for people like her, for like her money, a lower class status, and most of them, people in her like, I don't know, class group, is that right? Most people in her class group like can't even read, and so it's just her inventing things and learning to become her new character, who has blue hair, and she's cute, and she's small. But yeah, anyway, interesting. So, small quick word on the drawing I've been doing. I wanted to do something themed on isekai, but I couldn't think of anything besides someone falling in a portal. So here we have this girl. She's just falling through a portal. She's got cute pink shoes. She's got a big braid, and the portal kind of looks like a nether portal. Not gonna lie, I was playing Minecraft just before I drew this, so I'm not surprised it ended up like this. Let me know if you want to hear any more anime rants, because, like, you know, I love talking about anime, mostly manga. I can always just do one of me just reading out synopsises, giving recommendations, my opinions and thoughts on just regular sorts of topics. And thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. You know what they are. Links as always be in the description down below, so please go and check them out. I really appreciate it if you've watched this far into the video. We are almost 30 minutes in. That's insane. Why is this video so long? I am not interesting enough to listen to for that period of time. Anyway, I appreciate that. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday wherever you... People outside, oh my god. I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday wherever you are in the world, and if it's not Tuesday when you're watching this, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you all next time, whenever I do a video, because, you know, consistency is a lie, and people who are consistent, I think of robots. That's not true. I'm just very small and very anxious and emotional and crazy. Well, not crazy. Crazy is not the right word. Emotional, small, anxious, and trying to be more social in my day-to-day life. So I forget that YouTube is a thing that sometimes I do for fun. So yeah, low pressure. Low pressure for me. No video for you. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Bye. I appreciate you. I hope good times. I hope good tidings. I want to hear I also want to hear all of your anime rants and opinions, so please feel free to provide them down below, because I do appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.